Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and if you're returning, I love you. My name is Alasia, and today we're gonna be talking about the Vampire Diaries. You guys might hate me for this one, but
it's what needs to be said.
I've been planning to make this video for a while now, but I just restarted watching the Vampire Diaries maybe like 2 months ago, and this is my third time rewatching the show, and I really took everything in, and I was just like, ew. The people I used to like when I first watched it, I cannot stand. So the first one of those people is Elena. Oh my god, I just can't stand Elena. I think she's very annoying. She is not the good girl that she's like made out to be, and you could tell like the producers are trying so hard to make you just love Elena. She's the sweet, innocent girl that just got wrapped in the vampire. Like, no, she's really not. And I hate how they tried to portray her as that when she really wasn't. Girl, she makes everything about herself. Caroline's mom literally was dying. And she was like, Damon, Caroline's mom always died in my arms.
Make out with me.
She almost died in my arms, Damon. Caroline's mom almost died in my arms.
Like, girl, are you serious? Like, your friend's mom is literally dying? Yeah, dude. My friend's mom almost died in my arms. Damn. Wanna make out? Yes. I just love how every time someone turned their humanity off, they just realized how much Elena was not worth dying for.
If you kill Sarah, it's gonna haunt you forever. Trust me, I did it. And it sucks. I compelled a student to perform surgery on Stefan's niece, and you found a way to make this about you? God, you truly have a gift, Elena.
Elena was a shady bitch. Like, period. She had a lot of Katherine qualities in her, even though she was always like, I'm not Katherine.
I am not Katherine.
Then explain you using Elijah. You erasing Jeremy's memory.
Jeremy would just leave you to deal with Klaus on your own. I know. I asked Damon to compel him.
You killing Rebecca.
I am not Katherine.
I feel like Katherine was the better version just because Katherine didn't lie about who she was. She owned that she was a bitch. And the fact that Elena was a secret bitch and just pretended that she was just this amazing girl and she's so sweet and she has such a good heart. Like, girl, please.
I want Jeremy to kill Cole. I want him to kill an original. Think about it. Cole's sire line must stretch to the moon by now. If Jeremy kills Cole, every vampire that he's ever turned, not to mention everyone that they've turned, will die. Which means the Hunter's Mark will be complete and we'll have our key to finding the cure.
I am not Katherine.
Another thing about Elena is I hate how every time her friends would tell her how they felt and she didn't agree with it, she would gaslight the fuck out of them.
I think your so-called feelings for Damon are really starting to cloud your judgment, and I don't like it. And the thought of you two together really makes me want to barf.
Wow, Caroline. Thank you for making this very difficult time so much easier.
And not just her friendships, her relationships too. Like when Stefan didn't do what she wanted him to do. Stefan, this isn't like you. Please, you're stop being this way. He's like, bitch, please. Just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean I'm not being myself.
You're acting out, Stefan. This isn't you.
Sure it is. You've just never seen me like this. You don't know what I look like when I'm not in love with you.
I don't think she was the girl boss that they tried to make it seem that she was, because she really could not live without a man. Like, yes, there was that little period in season 1 where she wasn't fucking with Matt and she was like on her own and figuring it out. But once Stefan came in the picture, Stefan, then Damon, then what is that boy's name? Liam. And then back to Damon. It's like, girl, why are you just like not okay with being by yourself? And I understand like she lost Damon in a traumatic way, and of course that hurt. But like, don't jump into another relationship when you're not even ready and you're still not over your ex. Ugh. And let's not get started about how she literally dated Damon knowing damn well he abused her best friend. Because if my best friend was abused by a man, you really think I'm gonna go behind her back and date him?
No, I would never.
I just hate how she demonized everyone that tried to kill her, but forgave everyone else, like her love interest, that tried to kill all of her loved ones. Like, Damon literally killed Jeremy.
All you have to do is flip the switch instead.
And Alaric.
And Uncle John.
And she's still with him. But when Stefan tried to move on with Rebecca, it was such a big deal because she tried to kill Elena.
Stefan, what are you doing with Rebecca? She tried to kill me.
And this will be the second time that Damon tried to kill Jeremy.
The next character we're talking about is Caroline. In the beginning, Caroline was so annoying and self-centered, and you can tell that she was just always in competition with Elena.
She's always the one that everyone picks for everything.
It's not a competition, Caroline.
Yeah, it is.
And why would you ever want to be friends with that? That's why Elena and Bonnie canceled her out and like left her out of things, because she was just a hater.
Okay, what is going on? Why am I not a part of this conversation? You guys do this to me all the time.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. I can't talk to you. You don't listen.
That's not true.
I'm a witch.
And don't we all know it?
I think Katherine did her the biggest favor by turning her into a vampire, because after she turned into a vampire, Caroline was the girl boss.
I can take you.
Want to bet?
Yeah, I do.
I like that no matter what, even if it would hurt somebody's feelings, she would always tell them the truth and always say what they need to hear, regardless if they like it or not.
I didn't know what a sociopathic narcissist he was. He's always been there for me when I needed him.
Yeah, because he's hoping you'll sleep with him.
Even when she was off the rails, she really wasn't bad. I feel like they really should have left Caroline alone when she was off the rails, because she didn't do anything. She just like wasn't herself, whatever. But she wasn't out murdering people until they started fucking with her. And she literally told them, leave me alone, no one gets hurt. But even when they didn't leave her alone, she really didn't kill anyone. She just hurt them, and they're like, Caroline, this isn't you. And then there goes Elena talking about some, I've been where you're at, you don't want to do this, this isn't you.
If you kill Sarah, it's gonna haunt you forever.
Bitch, I know you fucking lied. And it's just like, girl, yes, we know you've done it, and you are way worse than Caroline because you couldn't fucking control yourself. Because none of them have self-control like my homegirl. So there's that on that. The next character we're talking about is my bestie, Bonnie. Oh my god. Bonnie deserved everything. She literally deserved so much more than she got. Literally not a single one of them would be alive if it weren't for Bonnie.
Veins, I will make every bone, muscle, and joint in your body turn to stone.
And I can't believe she stuck through with those people because she loved them, even though they killed each and every one of her loved ones.
Everything that happened tonight was to save you. And that's okay because she loves you, but somehow she's always the one who gets hurt.
Her grandma died because Damon wanted to open the fucking tomb. And then Catherine's bitch ass wasn't even in there. So it's just like her grandma died for no reason. Then boom, Silas came, murdered her father. One of them turned her freaking mom into a vampire.
It's only hurt a second.
Stefan killed Enzo. And it's just like, what the hell? And Caroline killed that guy at the carnival she didn't even get the chance to get to know. I feel like when she left that one summer, she should have stayed gone, and she really would have had her happy ending. They were always using her.
I was hoping you could help me with something. A spell.
I know Elena is okay with all of this,
And I appreciate what you did to help me, but I'm not really ready to dive into it with you just yet.
I understand that, but I need your help.
I feel like they did love Bonnie to the extent, but only because she was so powerful and she could help their narrative. I don't really feel like they really loved Bonnie.
We needed you here, and I needed to rescue my boyfriend. Yeah, but we had a plan. I had a plan too. I had a plan to grow old with Enzo and come home to him every night. I had a plan to live the kind of life that you and Stefan are living right now.
So is that what made you go rogue? The fact that Stefan and I are happy?
No, I'm happy that you're happy. I am. But when I see everything that you have, your home, your boyfriend, your kids, your life, it makes me feel so alone that I want to die.
They were only calling out for her when they needed something, and that was just weird as fuck to me. Like, Bonnie should have never even like stuck beside him, because she better than me, because I most definitely would not. This show would simply be nothing without Bonnie. She gave Caroline the sunlight ring. She resurrected Damon. She resurrected Jeremy.
Oh my god.
She stopped a hellfire. She literally became the anchor for these people so she can live on with them and still help them and not be on the other side.
You guys can see me? You're really here. I'm here.
No, Bonnie, Bonnie was the realest one on the team, and she was the best actor. Like, when Elena started crying, it wasn't as impactful as when Bonnie started crying. Ooh. Because Bonnie's hurt, like, you could feel her hurt. When it comes to actual acting, Bonnie got that
down.
My least favorite character, Matt. I hate Matt. He is so annoying and judgy and just useless. He has no powers. He wants nothing to do with them. All he does is complain and judge them. And the way he cried, it just like, you're crying, I don't care. Like, when he was crying, I really didn't care. I understand that his mother was gone, like his father wasn't there, but he was just always complaining about work and bills. And even though he tried his best not to stay in it, he still like was in it, you know? And it was his fault kind of, because he didn't really cut them off the way he should have. Next character we're gonna talk about is Tyler. Ew. Honestly, in the beginning, Tyler was an ass.
Hey Vic, I knew I'd find you here with the crackheads.
And I hate how they tried to make us forget that he literally tried to S.A. Vicky.
No. I said no. I said no!
Wow. Vicky Donovan says no. That's a first.
Like, are you serious? He's like a whole predator, and we just like forgot about it because he had character development. Like, I just hate how that was like really brushed away. Like, that never happened. Even after Vicky died, he was like, yeah, I was a dick to Vicky. But he was like, I
hunted
Vicky, you know? Katherine, one of my other favorite characters. Katherine was that girl. Katherine was that girl. I love how she always stood her ground, and she never pretended to be something that she wasn't. Because at the end of the day, everyone knew she was trying to only save herself and be out for herself, and she made it known.
Please. I'm Katherine Pierce. I'm a survivor.
I really hate how everyone used Katherine.
You're welcome.
And they get mad at her when she leaves or when she does some shady shit. But it's like, you guys literally hate her. And all you use her for is for when you need her. Like, that made me so mad. I really feel like if they treated Katherine differently, then the storyline would be way different. Overall, I think Katherine deserved better. And I know that she went after Elena because Elena had the life that she always wanted for herself.
I never had a graduation or a prom or, you know, a life, but you did. And it's not because you're a good little girl who deserves happiness. It's because you stole mine.
But also, Elena being a secret bitch, I feel like really ticked Katherine off as well.
It's getting really easy being you.
And now we are getting into relationships. So the first relationship we're going to be talking about is Stefan and Elena. Ew. Honestly, when I first watched the show for the first time, I was all for Elena. I was like, I hate Elena and Damon together, but me rewatching the show and like really understanding and knowing what's happening, I was just like, no, they really were so toxic to each other.
Parents died going over this bridge. I almost died.
Like, you have to believe that I would do it, right? You're fierce-souled.
Oh, what if he hadn't?
He did.
Well, what if he hadn't?
He did, Elena! He backed down! He has a weakness! If I know his weakness, I can destroy him!
After everything, that's what mattered?
I don't think Stefan really loved Elena. I honestly think he loved the idea of her innocence. Just like him in the past with Katherine. He's like reliving his past. Because he was in love with Katherine because he didn't know she was a vampire. When he learned that she was a vampire, it was just like, you know, I know there was still love there, but like he blames her for being turned into a vampire, and then he like forced his brother to be a vampire, and it's all Katherine's fault. Like, no. So I don't think he loves Elena. I think he loves that she's innocent, and I know that he loves that he has power over her instead of his brother.
You know, you can be in love with Elena all you want. The one thing that you never will. Oh, yeah? What's that? Her respect.
Which is why when she turned into a vampire and he was like, how could you do this? You ruined her life. And Damon was like, I don't give a fuck. Because at the end of the day, she's alive and I still love her.
Damon, no! Damon, no!
This is the way I know you'll come back. As a vampire. She'll come back a vampire. It's better than nothing else.
Another reason I feel like he just like loved her because she wanted him and not Damon was because when she was falling for Damon, he was like,
It's a Sarabon.
and I hated how every time Stefan moved on from Elena, she would just have a heart attack.
Are you trying to punish me? I don't know how many times I can apologize.
I never asked you to. You can do whatever you want, Elena. I really don't care.
You're hurt and you're acting out. Stefan, this isn't you.
Sure it is. You don't know what I look like when I'm not in love with you.
I don't think Elena loved Stefan as much as they proved it to be either. Of course, she would do anything for him, but I don't think it was romantically, like the way they tried to play it. I think that she loved that he could protect her and that she felt safe around him. And I honestly think Elena loved the danger. Even though she was always talking about, oh, I don't want to do this because I just want to have a normal day. Let's not talk about vampire stuff. But she still like was the mastermind behind a lot of the plans.
Or something?
I'm trying to keep Bonnie out of this. I don't trust that Stefan won't hurt her. Caroline, are you covered?
Yes. I will make sure that the old Forbes jail cell is prepped and ready. We need you to raid your mom's Rivain supply, enough to keep Stefan down for a while.
And even after she turned into a vampire, she just became more annoying. I feel like Elena didn't have that character development that all of the other characters had. Because in the beginning, me, 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 to the end, me, 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 me. And the only reason she let Bonnie live instead of her when Kai tied them together was because she left the show. In the beginning, I think that she was in love with something new because she was like so tired of Mac. They've known each other for such a long time and like he's such a plain Jane and boring and useless and annoying. So then when the new guy came around, he's hot, he's fast, he's that guy. She was like, oh yeah, I want a piece of that. And even when she found out he was a vampire, you know, she stuck around. She was searching for that purpose after her parents died. And I feel like she found that purpose in the vampire life. Next couple, Elena and Damon. I honestly did like Elena and Damon together because I felt like he brought out a lot of confidence in Elena. I like that he allowed her to make choices, but not stupid ones. Because yes, it is your life. You deserve to have your choices and live it out and not have someone controlling you all day. But the choices she was making were dumb.
Vain and I'm hungry.
If you leave a trail of bodies, people are going to start asking questions.
I don't care.
Show a little restraint.
Supposed to be fun.
Notice how when Stefan would tell her not to do something, she would do it. But that time where they were trying to kill Klaus and Damon was like, you can't be there. He was like, do you trust me? And she was like, yeah. And she stayed her ass home.
I don't want you having any part of it.
What does that mean?
Do you trust me?
Yes.
I think Elena was always in love with Damon, just because if you really look back from the beginning seasons to the end, you can see the way they play around, the way they look at each other, and the way just they talk. She's always like, it's always gonna be Stefan.
He kissed Catherine, not me. I wouldn't do that.
But homegirl, her feelings for him were suppressed, but they were definitely there. Another reason I think that Elena was in love with Damon way before the ball was because she was always mad at Damon for not acting like Stefan.
You can't do this anymore, Damon. Not in this town, not around me.
I am not Stefan. How about you stop trying to turn me into him?
I think she wanted Damon, but with Stefan quality. So then when he actually did get his act together, she was like more in lust. She was like, oh yes, I'm finally getting the man that I really want. Elena did help Damon grow into the person he is because she showed him how to be vulnerable but how to still be strong at the same time. And also Damon just cared more. So I feel like she played a big role in his character development, but I also feel like Bonnie did too. With that being said, let's talk about Bonnie and Damon. I just love how they grew a bond like throughout the whole thing, and he just learned to appreciate Bonnie more than Elena did.
I'm doing this for Bonnie, Elena. Not for you.
I feel like Bonnie was actually like Stefan's Lexi. I feel like that was the kind of dynamic that they had. Elena was that emotional support, but Bonnie was that like physical support, you know? Next, we're going to be talking about Stefan and Katherine. So I really feel like Stefan and Katherine should have ended up together. I think she loved the fuck out of him, and the only reason she saved Damon too was so that Stefan, the love of her life, wouldn't be alone for as many years as she needed to run.
You want to know why I'm here, Stefan? I came back for you.
If they gave Katherine a chance, I think she really could have changed. They were so mean to her and they demonized the fuck out of her. But she was no different than Damon or Stefan for that matter. She was just more upfront about it. She wasn't a liar like the rest of them. So they really used that against her. But I think if Stefan and Katherine were together, she really would have changed because she did help them when it was necessary, even if it didn't help her.
I wasn't just trying to save Damon's life, Stefan. I was trying to save yours.
Katherine deserved better, like I said, and her and Stefan really should have ended up together. I honestly think the beef that Stefan specifically had with Katherine was dumb. But the beef that Damon has with Katherine, that is deep because he was still in love with her and searched for her for hundreds or 100 years, and she fucking lied to him. And she never loved him and she led him on. So that beef is way different than Katherine and Stefan. Caroline. I think their relationship was really dumb and it wasn't needed. Stefan was basically pushed into that relationship because everyone around him was like, Caroline's a good girl. I can't believe you don't see what's right in front of you.
Look, 1, she's hot, objectively.
2, she puts up with you.
Big plus. 3, very, very well organized.
Organizational skills?
There are no drawbacks to this woman.
And I feel like he just fed into that because he was like, I'm single, so might as well.
I knew that you were the one person who would sit with me and let me cry, and I didn't want to cry anymore, so I had to push you away.
Anyway, yeah, I just feel like Stefan didn't really love her because he was on that fender and he just never came back for her. He never even like left something. He never called. He never did anything. But with Elena...
Hello? Stefan? Stefan, if this is you, you'll be okay.
He used to call, he used to leave stuff, or he would stalk her. But he never did that with Caroline.
I know what you felt, Stefan. Because if even just a little tiny piece of you felt for me what I was starting to feel for you, you wouldn't have walked away.
So I don't think he actually ever loved her. Next, we're going to talk about Tyler and Caroline. Tyler and Caroline were cute, but I don't think their love was really love. I think that Tyler just loved that Caroline took care of him and that she was there for him. Because even when he left, yes, I know he left for his safety and Klaus or whatever, but his feelings were off when he came back a lot of the time, and he would act like nothing was wrong and just go back to normal instead of trying to rebuild or rekindle what they already had. So that was like my whole thing with Tyler and Caroline. I think after he turned hybrid, that's when he really like just didn't give a fuck about her. Next, we're gonna talk about Alaric and Caroline. I don't think they were ever in love. I think Alaric just liked that she carried his children, and his children are obviously what was left of his previous wife, Jo, or fiance. They didn't really get married. I think that's why he clung on to Caroline, because she was a great mother. She was there for the kids, and I think that's what he really loved about her, because he was kind of like looking for a Jo replacement. But Caroline never loved Alaric. Like, I feel like she only got married because she felt like it was right to do for her kids, but she didn't fuck with Alaric. The whole time they were together, she was thinking about Stefan. So that whole relationship was really dumb. I feel like Caroline could have had the babies and they could have co-parented, but the fact that they made them together and like the beef with Alaric and Stefan, it was just honestly really dumb to me. Another thing that was weird is how he's literally dating his former high school student. They met Alaric when they were in high school.
It's getting weird.
Disgusting! Next, Klaus and Caroline. I loved Klaus and Caroline, and they just hated the idea of Klaus liking Caroline because, oh my god, he terrorized all of us, blah blah blah. But I honestly think if Klaus didn't try to kill Elena specifically, they wouldn't have been like that towards him. Because Damon, like I said in the past, Damon has killed everybody and their mama, and no one is giving Elena shit no more. But if Caroline were to fuck with Klaus, now it's the biggest problem in the world because,
oh my god, he tried to kill Elena. He killed Tyler's mom.
Okay, he killed a lot of people, yes, but I think Caroline honestly could have changed him. Like, when he gave her that proposal to like travel the world, she should have went. Honestly, your friends are shit except for Bonnie. They don't really care about you. They will never choose you over Elena. So she should have chose herself and went with Klaus. I honestly don't think Klaus was a terrible guy that they made it seem.
Well safe, Elena. You go straight home. You stay inside. Do you understand? Do you understand me?
Thank you.
I honestly think that he was just alone, which is why he wanted to make the hybrids in the first place. If Caroline were to be with him, I honestly think he would change.
There's a whole world out there waiting for you. Genuine beauty. And you can have all of it. You can have 1,000 more birthdays. All you have to do is ask.
Because Klaus wasn't that bad. Next, Bonnie and Jeremy. This relationship made me so fucking mad. They start dating. What does he do a few months later? Cheats on Bonnie with his ex-girlfriend. That's a ghost. That made me so mad because Bonnie literally brought his ass back from the dead knowing damn well she could die or something terrible could happen, but she loved him and she brought him back, and he's gonna go around and cheat on her with a ghost. Not to mention, they only came around because he was thinking of them. So the whole relationship, he was thinking of Vicky and Anna. And then before like Bonnie closed the realm again, he was like, it's always been her.
I love her. I've always loved her.
And then gets back with Bonnie later in the season. The fact that Bonnie even took that back is appalling. Next relationship, Bonnie and Enzo. They were so cute, and Bonnie was actually so happy for once in her life, and she wasn't worried about bullshit because Enzo brought her that peace. They were everything, and Stefan stripped that away from her. Honestly, Bonnie should have killed Stefan in that fucking moment, but she didn't. Because Damon's her bestie, and so is Elena, and so is Caroline, and everyone seems to just love Stefan, even though he's always going off the rails. He's just like toxic masculinity to me. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Stefan, honestly. But yeah, Bonnie was finally in a happy relationship, in a happy state of mind, and they stripped that away from her once again. Stefan literally is the cause of so much pain in Bonnie's life. He really didn't have to kill Enzo, and I hate that they killed him off. I feel like they were purposefully targeting Bonnie's character to get hurt the absolute most. Finally, now that we're done talking about the relationships, we're going to listen to my random thoughts. I loved Klaus. I loved all the originals, honestly. Elijah, he was a real man. He got backstabbed by the group so many times, and he didn't deserve that. Rebecca too. Rebecca definitely deserved so much more than she got, and she was actually such a sweet girl. The only reason they demonized her or dehumanized her was because of her brother Klaus. They didn't like Klaus, so they took that out on Rebecca because she was such a nice soul.
You all assume that I hate Elena so much.
Well, I mean, you did run her off a bridge.
You all seem to forget that Elena's death was the only way to save my family. I did the same thing that every one of you would have done to protect the people that you love.
I think she honestly would have been a great ally to them if they just treated her how they treat the rest of the group.
Remember that.
Bonnie and Kai. Kai was annoying as hell, but that car scene.
An hour until the eclipse. It's time to go home, Bonnie.
I'm sorry, when I seen that, I was like, are they about to kiss? They didn't, and I was a little disappointed. But I would have liked to see that little dynamic happen. I honestly don't think Bonnie could have changed Kai because he's like psychotic and something isn't right up here, but it would have been fun to watch. Let's talk about the plot. I honestly think they ran out of ideas with the last seasons because what does the devil have to do with anything? Honestly, it was really cool to watch because it was new and like I'd never heard of sirens before the Vampire Diaries, and sirens isn't that far off from like the mystical creatures because there's witches, wolves, vampires, hybrids, but I don't know, it was just weird, like kind of the way it was brought up. Yeah, I think they ran out of ideas with that and it was kind of like dumb in a sense, and I don't think that season was needed, honestly, but it wasn't a bad season in my opinion. Another thing that didn't make sense was when Katherine took the cure, she started aging rapidly. But when Damon took the cure, everything was dandy.
Find peace.
So Elena took the cure. She turned a vampire a couple years ago, so it's very understandable why she wouldn't age rapidly and die. But Damon's been alive for 100 years, 100-something years, and he didn't age rapidly like Katherine. It didn't make sense. And another thing is when Caroline showed Jesse how to cure people with his blood, like when he bit that guy and his like wounds started healing, why didn't they do that with everyone else? Like, no one's walking around in 75-degree weather with a fat scarf on and a hoodie to cover their, like, come on. Why didn't they just give them their blood after they fed and everything would have been fine? It's funny how a lot of people that try to kill actually came in handy. Like, tried to kill Klaus, but they ended up using him for Caroline when she got bit by a werewolf. Tried to kill Katherine. They needed Katherine to play Elena. One thing that absolutely bothered me was how if they just skipped the commentary, they would have gotten so many more kills. Like when Stefan kept Katherine in their little dungeon in their basement, and he was just talking, chit-chatting before he killed her, and then she got up and stabbed him. Like, if you would have just shut the fuck up, sneak attacked her, killed her, boom, it's done. But you guys want to do all this talking after you get them, and they get mad when they get away. It's because you need to zip the lip and just kill them. Like, seriously. That is all I have for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video because I spent a lot of time writing everything down and getting all my thoughts neat. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you agree with me. Let me know what you disagree on. And let me know what you think I should have added, because I did have a lot more to say. I just couldn't think of it to write down in the moment. As always, if you like me, subscribe. If you like this video, give it a like. And please comment down below your thoughts on this video, your thoughts on the Vampire Diaries, and who you ship. Because I know a lot of people was fucking with Klaus and Caroline. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it all the way through, I love you. Have an amazing rest of your day.